Hey, group leaders, thanks so much for clicking on that link. And we look forward to this monthly thing where we just check in on you and you can hear our hearts. With me today, I have a few of our leaders, Tim, of course, and Carrie, who's our group's coordinator. And Tim, through this historical time, we've just been thinking through what it means to make disciples. And why don't you share a little bit about what your thoughts are?
Yeah. We are in a profound moment as the church, a moment to pause and reflect and look back and consider. And this crisis has reawakened in me a fundamental question. That is, are we making disciples who make disciples of Jesus? And this crisis could just be about, hey, let's just survive and get past it and figure it out, and then we'll move on. But actually, for decades, people have been asking, how do we pass on faith and life in Jesus in an increasingly secular culture? And how do we make disciples who know how to personally and relationally invest in someone else in order to form faith in Jesus in them and see them mature? And so, before the outbreak, I had been reflecting on our MSC, and I've been leading an MSC along with some really close friends and my wife for 6.5 years. And I love what we've seen. There's so much that's good. I think we experience the kingdom of God when we're together. I think we see kids who are looking up to spiritual aunts and uncles. I think we see guys who are encouraging, supporting one another, and women who are growing together. And yet I want to see more fruit. I want to see that people who have received enough that they're able to then say, I can pass this on to my neighbor. I can pass on faith in Jesus to my coworker. And I know how to form faith in my teenager. And so we're so keen to see this increase and see fruit increase. And so I know you guys have been thinking about passing stuff on to other people.
Yeah. So Carrie, why don't you share some of your thoughts of how we've been chatting about how we pass on, we want to stop the pass on of COVID, but how does that relate to passing on the gospel? Why don't you share a little bit about your thoughts with that?
Yeah, I've just been thinking about the early church in Acts, and they knew how to live in close proximity. They shared everything. They ate together. They freely gave up everything that they had. And we live in a different time right now, so it's going to look a little different. But one other thing that struck me is, as Christians, we are called to lay down our personal agenda and some of our freedoms. And so, Netflix is always calling our name, but maybe my neighbor is also calling my name, and that's a little bit more important. So things to think about, I guess, during this time.
Yeah.
And how about you, Troy? You had some different ideas as well.
Well, I think one of the things we've heard lots of, and everyone has emailed me about it, is to wash your hands, wash your hands. And really, when you're washing your hands, you're erasing the history of where you've been. I remember coming home from church and I stand at the door and I shake hundreds of hands, and I come home and I always say, I'm washing the fellowship off my hands. But I think in ways, your hands are history of where you've been. And I think spiritually, it tells a story of things that Jesus has done. So I think I encourage you to continue to wash your physical hands, but remember those stories. Remember the history that when God came through for you, and share that with your neighbors. Your neighbors might be going through a tough time with their marriage, and you can remember of your past, of when you had a tough time with your marriage, or financial difficulties, or losing your job, or all those things. Your hands are the history of where you've been, and I would encourage you to continue to share those things with people that may not know Jesus yet. I know, Carrie, you've talked about 3 different other ways that we can share our faith with others, even through this COVID season, and maybe even after. Why don't you just let us in on those things?
Yeah, and I know you all have great ideas. So here's just a couple more just to kind of get the wheels turning. So you could do coffee on the driveway with your neighbor. You could help someone in your group or your community with their spring yard cleanup. We need a lot of help with that. We got to get going. And bless someone with a meal from Skip the Dishes. These are easy ways to just help out.
Yeah, that's good.
So thanks so much for your time. We sure love you leaders and all that you do, especially during this very unique season. Hopefully one day we will see you face to face again. And always, if you have any questions about what you're doing, or you have any digital problems with Zoom or whatever platform you're using, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to help you out with that. You can always email us at groups@beulah.ca. Hopefully we'll see you soon, and next time. Talk to you later.